Welcome to Creepy, the best horror storyteller on YouTube.
Part 1. The Whispers of an Unknown Caller.
The world was a bustling symphony of sounds, a cacophony of human voices, the hum of machinery, and the symphony of nature. Yet, amidst this vibrant tapestry of noises, Sarah's ears were attuned to a different frequency, a chilling whisper that only she could hear. It began subtly, a faint distortion in the background noise, a fleeting glitch in the auditory matrix of her reality. Sarah would brush it off as a trick of the mind, a misfiring synapse in her brain. However, as the days turned into weeks, the whispers grew more distinct, more insistent, weaving their way into the fabric of her daily life. They were always there, these whispers, like a persistent shadow lurking at the edge of her perception. They would come unannounced, slithering into her ears like serpents, their voices a chilling blend of static and human speech. The whispers were cryptic, fragments of sentences that never quite formed a coherent whole. They spoke of impending doom, of unseen dangers lurking in the shadows, of a fate that awaited her if she did not heed their warnings. Sarah tried to ignore the whispers, to convince herself that they were nothing more than figments of her imagination. But they were too persistent, too insistent, their presence a constant reminder that she was not alone, that something unseen was watching her, whispering into her ears. The whispers grew louder, more menacing, their voices morphing into a chorus of warning bells, their messages becoming increasingly clear. They warned her of specific dangers, of accidents that were about to happen, of people who posed a threat to her well-being. At first, Sarah dismissed these warnings as mere coincidences. But as the whispers grew more accurate, predicting events with uncanny precision, she began to fear them. She lived in a constant state of paranoia, her every move guided by the cryptic messages that echoed in her ears. The whispers became her constant companions, a haunting soundtrack to her life. They robbed her of sleep, consumed her thoughts, and left her feeling isolated and alone. The once vibrant world around her faded into a muted blur, replaced by a constant sense of dread and impending doom. Sarah knew that she couldn't ignore the whispers any longer. They were her only protection, her only warning against unseen dangers. But the cost was too high. She was a prisoner of her own mind, trapped in a world where reality and paranoia were intertwined. The whispers were her distorted warning signals, a chilling glimpse into a world beyond her comprehension. And Sarah knew that she was not the only one who could hear them.
Part 2. The Unseen Danger.
Sarah's life had become a constant dance with the whispers, a delicate balance between heeding their warnings and maintaining her sanity. She had learned to trust them, to rely on their cryptic messages to guide her through the minefield of her existence. But the whispers were not always reliable. Sometimes they were vague, offering only fleeting glimpses of impending danger. Other times, they were silent, leaving Sarah to navigate the treacherous waters of her reality alone. One day, the whispers were particularly insistent, their messages riddled with a sense of urgency. They warned Sarah of a specific danger, a threat that was imminent and unavoidable. They spoke of a dark figure, a malevolent entity lurking in the shadows, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. Sarah's heart pounded with fear. She tried to decipher the whispers, to understand the nature of this unseen danger, but their messages were too cryptic, too elusive. All she knew was that she had to be vigilant, to keep her guard up, to be ready for whatever was coming. She spent the next few days in a state of heightened awareness, her senses constantly on alert. She avoided dark alleyways, crowded streets, and any place where she felt vulnerable. She kept her apartment door locked, her windows bolted, and her phone within reach, ready to dial 911 at the first sign of trouble. But the unseen danger remained elusive. Sarah felt its presence, a suffocating weight pressing down on her, but she couldn't see it, couldn't touch it, couldn't even understand its true nature. One night, as Sarah lay in bed, the whispers grew louder, more insistent. They urged her to flee, to escape from the unseen danger that was closing in on her. Sarah didn't need to be told twice. She grabbed her clothes, her phone, and her wallet, and slipped out of her apartment, leaving everything else behind. She ran into the night, her heart pounding in her chest, her breath coming in short, ragged gasps. She didn't know where she was going, but she knew she had to keep moving, to put as much distance between her and the unseen danger as possible. She ran through the deserted streets, the whispers echoing in her ears, their voices growing louder with every step she took. She felt the unseen danger closing in, its presence growing stronger, more palpable. Suddenly, a dark figure emerged from the shadows, its form obscured by the darkness. Sarah's heart leaped into her throat. She knew this was the entity the whispers had warned her about, the source of the unseen danger. The dark figure moved with a predatory grace, its movements fluid and silent. It approached Sarah with a chilling inevitability, its eyes glowing with an eerie luminescence. Sarah turned to flee, but her legs felt like lead. She was frozen in place, her body paralyzed by fear. The dark figure closed in, its presence a suffocating blanket of darkness. Sarah closed her eyes, bracing for the inevitable. But the attack never came. Instead, she felt a strange sensation, a tingling warmth spreading through her body. The whispers faded into silence, replaced by a soothing calm. When Sarah opened her eyes, the dark figure was gone, vanished into the night. She was alone, but she no longer felt the oppressive weight of the unseen danger. The whispers had saved her once again. But Sarah knew that the danger was not gone for good. It was still out there, lurking in the shadows, waiting for its next opportunity. She would never be free from its clutches, never escape the distorted warning signals that echoed in her ears. Sarah's life had become a never-ending battle against the unseen, a constant struggle to stay one step ahead of the whispers and the dangers they foretold. She was a prisoner of her own mind, trapped in a world where reality and paranoia were intertwined. And she knew that she would never be the same again.
Part 3. The Distorted Reality.
Sarah's world had become a distorted reflection of its former self, a warped landscape where the whispers were her only guide, her only connection to an unseen reality. The once vibrant colors of her life had faded into a monochromatic palette of grays and shadows, the sounds of the world muted and distant, replaced by the persistent murmur of the whispers. Sarah had learned to decipher their cryptic messages, to interpret their fragmented sentences into warnings of impending danger. She had become an expert in navigating the treacherous terrain of her distorted reality, relying on the whispers to guide her through the labyrinth of her own mind. But the whispers were not always reliable. Sometimes they were silent, leaving Sarah to stumble through the darkness, vulnerable to the unseen dangers that lurked in the shadows. Other times, their messages were too vague, too cryptic, offering only fleeting glimpses of impending doom. Sarah's life had become a constant dance with the whispers, a delicate balance between heeding their warnings and maintaining her sanity. She lived in a state of perpetual vigilance, her senses constantly on alert, her mind always racing to decipher the whispers' cryptic messages. The once familiar world around her had become a foreign land, a landscape of distorted perceptions and distorted realities. The people she once knew had become strangers, their faces obscured by masks of paranoia and fear. The streets she once walked with ease were now treacherous paths, filled with hidden dangers and unseen threats. Sarah was a prisoner in her own mind, trapped in a world where reality and paranoia were intertwined. She was a slave to the whispers, her life dictated by their cryptic messages, and she knew that there was no escape, no way to break free from the distorted reality that had become her prison. One day, the whispers grew louder, more insistent than ever before. They spoke of an impending catastrophe, a cataclysmic event that would shatter the very fabric of reality. Sarah's heart pounded with fear as she listened to their warnings, the whispers painting vivid images of destruction and chaos. She knew that she had to act, that she had to find a way to prevent the impending catastrophe. But the whispers offered no clues, no guidance, leaving her to navigate the treacherous terrain of her distorted reality alone. Sarah spent the next few days frantically searching for answers, her mind consumed by the whispers' warnings. She delved into the depths of her own consciousness, exploring the hidden corners of her mind, hoping to find a way to avert the impending doom. Along the way, she encountered other prisoners of the whispers, individuals who, like her, were trapped in a world of distorted realities. They shared their stories, their fears, their hopes, and together they formed a fragile alliance, a bond of shared suffering and a desperate search for salvation. Together, they pieced together the fragments of the whispers' messages, searching for patterns, for clues that could lead them to the source of the impending catastrophe. They explored abandoned ruins, delved into forgotten archives, and deciphered cryptic symbols, all in the hope of finding a way to prevent the destruction that loomed over them. But their quest was fraught with danger. They were constantly hunted by unseen entities, creatures of the distorted reality that sought to silence their voices and prevent them from uncovering the truth. They faced traps and illusions, their minds manipulated by the whispers in an attempt to break their spirits and crush their hope. And yet, they persevered, driven by a desperate need to save their world, to break free from the shackles of the distorted reality that held them captive. They fought against the whispers, against the unseen entities, against their own fears and doubts, determined to find a way to avert the impending doom. Their journey was long and arduous, filled with setbacks and failures. But they never gave up, their hearts fueled by a flicker of hope, a belief that they could find a way to save their world. And as they ventured deeper into the labyrinth of the distorted reality, they began to uncover the secrets of the whispers, the truth behind the impending catastrophe, and the path to their own salvation.
Part 4. The Unveiling.
Deep within the labyrinth of the distorted reality, Sarah and her companions stumbled upon a hidden chamber, a forgotten sanctum where the whispers originated. The air was thick with the whispers' presence, their voices echoing through the chamber, their messages now clear and undeniable. The chamber was filled with ancient symbols, cryptic runes etched into the walls, the floor, and the ceiling. The whispers spoke of a time when reality was fluid and malleable, when the boundaries between the real and the unreal were blurred. They spoke of an ancient power, a force that sought to reshape reality to its own liking, to create a world of chaos and destruction. The whispers revealed that the impending catastrophe was not an act of fate, but a deliberate act of creation. The ancient power was awakening, gathering its strength, preparing to unleash its destructive force upon the world. And it was the whispers, the remnants of a forgotten civilization, that were trying to warn humanity, to guide them towards a path of salvation. Sarah and her companions realized that they were not merely prisoners of the distorted reality. They were its guardians, tasked with protecting the world from the encroaching darkness. They had to decipher the symbols, unlock the secrets of the whispers, and find a way to contain the ancient power before it was too late. Their task was daunting, their chances of success slim. But they were determined to succeed, fueled by their newfound purpose and a desperate hope for the future. They spent countless hours studying the symbols, seeking patterns and connections, their minds racing to decipher the whispers' cryptic messages. As they delved deeper into the chamber's secrets, they began to understand the nature of the ancient power. It was a force of chaos, a manifestation of entropy, driven by the desire to consume and destroy. It sought to unravel the fabric of reality, to reduce the world to a meaningless void. The whispers revealed that there was a way to contain the ancient power, to seal it away and prevent it from unleashing its destructive force. But the ritual was complex and dangerous, requiring the sacrifice of something precious, something that could bridge the gap between the real and the distorted. Sarah and her companions knew that the sacrifice could only be one thing: themselves. They had to offer themselves to the ancient power, to become a part of its distorted reality, to hold it in place until the end of time. They made their decision with heavy hearts, but they knew that it was the only way to save the world. They stepped into the center of the chamber, surrounded by the whispers' deafening cacophony, and prepared to make their final sacrifice. As they closed their eyes and embraced the distorted reality, the whispers grew louder, their voices intertwining with their own, their consciousness merging into a single entity. They became one with the whispers, their bodies and minds consumed by the distorted reality, their souls forever bound to the task of containing the ancient power. And so, in the depths of the forgotten chamber, Sarah and her companions vanished, their sacrifice ensuring the safety of the world. The whispers faded into silence, their warnings heeded, their purpose fulfilled. The world was safe, but it would never be the same again, forever changed by the echoes of the distorted warning signals.
Part 5. The Legacy of the Whispers.
In the aftermath of Sarah and her companion's sacrifice, the world was left to grapple with the lingering effects of the distorted reality. The boundaries between the real and the unreal remained blurred, and the whispers continued to echo in the minds of those who had been touched by their power. Some embraced the distorted reality, finding solace in its fluid and malleable nature. They sought to reshape the world in their own image, creating a utopia where imagination reigned supreme. Others retreated into the safety of the real world, seeking refuge from the whisper's haunting presence. They built walls around their minds, determined to protect themselves from the distorted reality's influence. The world became a patchwork of different realities, each shaped by the perceptions of those who inhabited it. The whispers served as a constant reminder of the interconnectedness of these realities, their voices echoing through the fabric of existence, a reminder of the sacrifice that had been made to preserve the world. Sarah and her companions became legends, their names whispered with reverence and fear. They were seen as martyrs, heroes who had given their lives to protect the world from chaos and destruction. Their sacrifice was a stark reminder of the fragility of reality, of the fine line that separated order from chaos. The distorted warning signals remained a mystery, their true nature never fully understood. Some believed they were the remnants of a forgotten civilization, others saw them as manifestations of the collective consciousness of humanity. But one thing was certain, the whispers were a force to be reckoned with, their presence a constant reminder of the unseen realities that lurked beyond the boundaries of human perception. As the years passed, the whispers gradually faded, their voices becoming more distant, their messages less clear. But their legacy lived on, shaping the world in ways both subtle and profound. The distorted reality remained, a testament to the sacrifices that had been made, a reminder of the unseen dangers that still lurked in the shadows. And in the quiet corners of the world, in the minds of those who had been touched by the whispers, the echoes of their voices lingered, a haunting reminder of the distorted warning signals that had once guided them through the labyrinth of their reality.
Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for more similar horror stories.